Was supposed to be a triple threat match for the middleweight championship. Azrieal and the returning MERC against our Titan World Middleweight Champion, the shining star himself, Ray Calitri. Unfortunately, Ray Calitri sprained his AC joint, from carrying the Titan middleweight brand and the Titan brand all over the world and making the middleweight championship the only world championship in our company, carrying all that weight on his shoulders, and unfortunately is not cleared for action.
Well, it's going to be Azrieal versus the MERC. The MERC with a huge change of attitude since getting that ankle crushed by Ray Calitri. Used to come out here with the American flag, lead the people in chants of USA, USA. Still a fan favorite, but he's taken a dark turn since getting hurt. He's going to go one-on-one with Azrieal. Last time we saw MERC, he got disqualified. He hit Calitri with a chair in that middleweight championship match. A match that a lot of people think MERC had won.
Absolutely despicable. And instead of MERC falling all the way down the rankings and having to start from the bottom again for a middleweight championship spot, here again, we get Titan management inexplicably creating a situation where MERC may once again get a shot at that world middleweight championship held by the greatest champion this company has seen in Ray Calitri.
MERC going to have to wait a little bit longer to get his hands on Calitri, but he should not overlook the veteran Azrieal.
I love Azrieal.
Azrieal has been through many of ring wars, as we see a collar and elbow tie-up, jockeying for position to both men.
You talk about Azrieal, you're talking about an original here in this Jersey area. He really was one of those men who set independent wrestling on fire back in the early 90s. The late 90s, I should say, and early 2000s. One of those names that when you talk about the originators of styles, you're talking about Azrieal. An original roster member of Special K.
And now doing push-ups. I think Azrieal underestimating MERC.
No, it's the other way around. 20-year veteran, and look how great of a shape Azriel's in. Azrieal has gotten better in his 20 years in the business and has not slowed down a bit. In fact, I would say Azriel's more in his prime now than he was in his prime.
Well, we also can't discredit the fact that the MERC is the longest reigning Titan hardcore champion in history.
And like his reign, that championship is historical.
Of course, the Titan Hardcore Championship no longer exists. Title has since been retired, but MERC now reversed the waist lock, pushes Azrieal into the ropes. Huge hip toss by MERC.
What this matchup is going to come down to, and we're seeing it already, is the strength of the military veteran MERC against the quickness and experience of Azrieal.
And don't let his hardcore background fool you. The MERC is just as adversed in actual technical wrestling as he was in hardcore combat.
Beautiful sidewalk slam, a cover by MERC, but only enough for a 2 count.
I can tell you what his first mistake was, and gentlemen, I bet none of you even noticed it.
Which is?
He came out dressed in all black in a building that's at least a sweltering 115 degrees. He is going to overheat in that ring, and slowly his breaths are going to become labored and harder to catch. Well, Azrieal came out shirtless. Smart man.
The black absorbs sunlight. That's why it gets hot. We're indoors. There's no sun coming in.
It's hot. When you wear black, you get hotter.
Well, the MERC taking the fight to Azrieal. MERC in control. Oh, and what a kick. Right to the chest of Azrieal. And another.
Looks like Merc may have been studying up on his Bryan Danielson.
I want to get those. I want to get those boots checked. I know military men usually wear reinforced toe boots. I want to make sure those are regulation wrestling boots.
Steel toe boots. Maybe he borrowed them from Diego El Trabajador.
And the Merc on the attack now. He's got Azrieal reeling in the corner. Stiff forearm right to the jaw. As he shoots Azrieal off. Reversal. The Merc lands on the second rope. Sunset flip. And
Azrieal putting the brakes on.
No, Azrieal
Able to
rolls
roll
out. Rolls over. Basement dropkick right to the back of the spine.
That's that experience edge of Azrieal, always keeping his opponent guessing.
Cover by Az. 2 count only for the good guy.
Self-proclaimed good guy.
He is a good man. How dare you?
Elbow to the top of the head. That one hurt Azrieal just as much as it hurt Merc. Irish whip now. Azrieal running drop kick right into the corner.
But Merc's still on his feet.
No, he's not.
It's
Not for long. Cover by Azrieal. 1, 2.
And there's a rope break. Good ring awareness by the Merc.
The only way this match was going to continue was that right there. That was a 3 count waiting to happen. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match will become the #1 contender for the Titan Championship Wrestling World Middleweight Championship, which would have been defended successfully here tonight had Ray Calitri not been told by a doctor he wasn't cleared to compete.
Well, we can say a lot of things about Ray Calitri. One thing we can say, he is a fighting champion. No doubt about that. And you know, if AJ Penn is holding his man out of action, there's a reason for it.
He went to 5 different doctors, by the way. 5 doctors to get clearance for today. He wanted so badly to defend that the World Middleweight Championship. He went to 5 doctors trying to get clearance. All of them said his AC joint too severely sprained to clear.
Merc breaking out of that submission hold with a big hip toss. But Azrieal dropping him face first into that middle turnbuckle.
And according to my sources, 3 of the 5 doctors Ray Calitri went to were a gynecologist, a urologist, and a podiatrist.
The disrespect you have for a world champion.
As Azrieal in control of the Merc. Merc rolling to the ropes. Smart maneuver.
But Azrieal quick in the pursuit. Again, only enough for a 2 count.
And then speaking to Ray Calitri earlier today, as I was coming down to the Manchester Little League, Ray Calitri said, it doesn't matter to me who wins this match, whether it's Merc or whether it's Azrieal. If he knows Azrieal very well due to Azriel's connections for many years with AJ Penn. AJ Penn has represented Azrieal as well before. So he'd have the scouting report on Az. And he said, if it's Merc, I'll just embarrass him again. Now I won't be surprised. I'll know who's under the mask, and I know exactly how to beat Merc. I've done it many times. So Ray Calitri, it doesn't matter to him who wins this match. To him, it's just another victory when he gets back from injury and another defense of his championship.
Sleeper hold applied by Azrieal. Can we see this match end in a referee stoppage?
Azrieal applying pressure to the throat.
You ever had that moment? You ever had that moment after you have like coffee or tea or something really, kind of gassy, that the pressure kind of builds up in your intestines? That kind of pressure, that's the amount of pressure that Azrieal is putting right now across the trachea and the windpipe of Merc.
Thank you for that very colorful description.
You got to understand.
And that's it?
No.
Oh, Merc got a hand up.
Merc able to get his hand up at the very last second.
Chants from the children here in the Manchester Little League of come on, Merc.
Merc driving those elbows and now fists into the midsection of Azrieal. Able to power out of that sleeper hold. And now both arms of Azrieal caught. A series of headbutts now into the shoulder of Azrieal. The shoulder which is being hyperextended a bit.
Merc disoriented himself with those headbutts, and Azrieal able to brush the drop kick away. Azrieal on the attack. He's going for the pin. #1 contender. 1, 2, and no. Azrieal looking a bit frustrated. And the Merc is no easy man to put away. Hanging up the Merc in the tree of woe is Azrieal. All the blood flowing to the brain as Azrieal stomping away now in the corner. What's Azrieal thinking?
Azrieal looks like he's going up
Oh,
top.
no, that should be a disqualification.
Why? He's climbing the turnbuckles. He's climbing up, trying to get to the top.
And this referee very lenient. That technically is a low blow.
How? How? He didn't go low. He went high.
The man's foot was pressed in the man's lower area.
An egregious sign of disrespect from Azrieal.
Azrieal was simply climbing the turnbuckles to try to get to the top, and when he realized that he wouldn't be able to make it to the top, he stopped on the middle turnbuckle. Why is that a problem?
Surely you'd have to realize that what he was standing on was a bit softer than a turnbuckle.
Well, there's not much thing softer than a turnbuckle.
Unbelievable, Pete.
And you said a low blow. By definition, a low means lower. He went high. He was stepping on the second turnbuckle. That is not considered low. Please work on your definitions.
Be that
Azrieal,
as it may, the flexing was highly unnecessary, and Merc getting his foot up and meeting Azrieal as he came down from the middle rope.
Azrieal stunned. He caught the foot on the way down of Merc.
Merc now to the opposite corner. Azrieal to the opposite corner.
And Merc with a running elbow. Huge Beal across the other side of the ring.
Azrieal tried to block it. You see, he didn't get all of that. Azrieal kind of flew, but not really the way that Merc wanted him to. He landed on his side instead of on his back.
And another Beal. That one much more effective. But the Merc favorite, you see he's holding his nether regions. Should have been a disqualification. This match should have been over. As Azrieal slow to get to his feet. The Merc stalking his prey. I guess that's the war veteran in him. You know, he did serve in Desert Storm.
Damage has certainly been done, and this is going to slow Merc down even more.
Judo throw.
Azrieal already had the upper hand in terms of agility in this matchup.
And Merc with another judo throw.
But unable to really keep Azrieal down. Azrieal continues to get up. Azrieal continues to be in motion.
Nice German suplex with a bridge. Azrieal able to kick out at 2.
And as I predicted earlier, he wearing all black. You could see him sweating profusely. His breathing has become massively labored. Azrieal, yet on the other hand, still going strong.
Well, I will admit it is a sweltering one here in the Little League. Merc going up to the top. We usually don't see this too often. And the Merc went for the diving headbutt, but he missed.
Azrieal able to roll out of the way at the very last second. This could be the opening that Azrieal needs in order to put Merc away.
And now Azrieal charges the corner, maybe going for a monkey flip. The Merc caught him, sits him up on that top rope like it's a lazy boy. And there's a chop for Azrieal. And another chop for Azrieal.
And we could see Merc splaying the legs of Azrieal over that top rope, perhaps looking for some recompense from what we saw earlier.
Merc up to the top again.
And Azrieal hammering away on Merc.
And listen, Merc should know better than anyone as a military veteran. When one tactic doesn't work, you don't try it again. You try something different. And yet again on the top rope and finding resistance.
The Merc now looking for maybe a superplex. From the top. And he got the superplex all the way down, and that's a long way down.
We saw that ring buckle as both of these men came crashing down to the mat, but both of them looking very worse for wear, and both men rolling to the outside, perhaps instinctively, to recollect themselves as the referee begins the count.
And that affects MERC more than Azrieal. MERC looked completely gassed after that superplex. When he rolled out the side of the ring, I saw the look on his eyes. It was glazed over like a Krispy Kreme glazed donut.
I think it may affect both men equally. They both rolled out of the ring.
Yeah, but Azrieal, look at this. Azrieal still moving, still in motion. Again, that veteran instinct by Az. MERC's up, but MERC looks like he doesn't know where he is right now. MERC thinks he's right now on the streets of Tehran in a military movement.
And a double clothesline. Both men are out. We might see a double count out here. Referees at 9. Double count out. The ref's throwing this one out. And David Adams getting the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official Brandon has told me this match has been ruled a double count out.
So who's the number one contender? Do we even have a number one contender?
Right now, it would look like we wouldn't have one, as nobody won this match, so nobody gets to claim.